Welcome to Espresso and Electronics, quick sips of EDA wisdom. I'm your host, Thanika Sunda, and today's podcast is about exploring the women leaders in tech and innovation. Joining me today is Garima Srivastava, who's a director at Samsung Electronics. Welcome to the show, Garima.
Thank you, Anika. Thank you for having me here.
So, Garima, as director of chip design and verification, can you talk about what excites you the most in this domain?
So, I started my journey almost 21 years back. And when I joined Texas Instruments, that's where my first company was. So, I was more interested in fabrication. So, I wanted to see how the chips are made and how the whole system work, how the semicon work. And in that direction, I moved to verification. And what started exciting me more is finding bugs. I think that's just make my day if I find a bug. So that's how my journey started. And then gradually the design complexities are increasing and there are lots of new things which is coming. Now there is an era of AI and ML coming in. We are making NPU chips across the world. So I think some of those technologies really excite me and keep me awake at night, and then how the world is transforming.
Interesting. So, Garima, as you mentioned, design verification is a very critical part, right?
Right.
So, as a woman leader, what have been the most, typical challenges that you faced while going through this entire process?
Okay. So I think there are two parts of the question. One is the design verification and the challenges in design verification. Again, with ever-growing complexity of the SOCs which is coming in, design verification is an area where I have to collaborate a lot with software team, design team, architecture team to understand what is the real requirement. And as a verification engineer or as a verification leader, I have to ensure that we will leave no stone unturned to find a bug, because any bug in silicon will be catastrophic.
Absolutely.
So I think that is one of the things. As a woman, yes, there are challenges as a woman when there are silicon debugs, when there are unsolved problems. You have to spend a lot of time rather than having a 9 to 5 kind of a job. So it is not a 9 to 5 job. Design quality, or we sometimes call ourselves as guardian of the galaxy, which is galaxy means Samsung phones. So we do call ourselves that. So I think it is very important for us. The role of a verification engineer and a manager is a very critical role in Samsung, where we ensure that we manage the quality of the design.
I totally agree. Even I've gone through this, right? There was a tape out and we spent the entire night in the office, and then my boss was getting those M&E tickets, and he's like, guys, we really need to do this. And we're like, yes, we need to push this out the door, right? So it's definitely not a 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 job anymore.
Right. Absolutely. So yes, those kind of challenges are there, but like as women, one of the things which I've learned over year is to have or create a support system, whether it is in office or at home. Like for example, today I'm here attending this. There is a very critical debug which is going on back in office, but I know I trust my team, and my team is very supportive, and they understand that they have to be there and they have to do that kind of a job, and I'll get a very regular updates from them. So I think that's what makes that support system which is making us thrive together. That is one thing. At home also, we have to somewhere decide, and we have to call it out that, okay, this is my passion.
Yes.
And I'm really enjoying doing this job, so please support. And then I think families are there to support, so they're always there supporting you, encouraging you. So I got such a beautiful family, so it's really helping me out there.
Amazing. And I totally second what you said.
Yeah.
So, Garima, it's very inspiring to hear how have you been able to turn these challenges, into opportunities. Can you talk a little bit about what strategy did you use? And if not strategy, what did you do, in your basic day-to-day or routine that actually helped you?
Okay, so I think one of the key things is, as engineers, we have to continuously learn. So there are lots of new trends coming up. Keep yourself up to date. I think that is one of the things which I keep telling it to the younger generation, as well as the younger guys who join my team. Second thing, as individual, build strong relationship. I think that is the thing which will take you places. The trust and the relationship which you have with your team, with your peers. I think that is another area which, as an engineer or as a leader, you have to focus on. Thirdly, what I'll say is see every challenge as an opportunity, because that's what turns the table for you. Something which nobody wants to pick it up, something which nobody wants to do, I think if you just pick that up and do it for your organization, for your leadership, I think that's the great job done. So I think some of those things which has just fall through for me, and then it just worked well for me also.
I agree. And one more thing, maybe like, don't tell people to give you the directions always, right? I mean, if there's something that you pick up, look for peripheries, right? I mean, just go for it, right? I mean,
I think opportunities don't knock doors twice.
Exactly.
So if you get an opportunity, pick it up, take it, and see how it takes you and where it takes you. So I started as a very humble engineer, just
you
passed out.
You are today.
Just passed out from college, and here in Bangalore, my parents are from Delhi, and then they were always very cautious that, okay, do you really want to move far from the family? But then they see that I am very passionate about this particular role, this particular job. I moved in here, and then I found best mentors. Like from day one, I always had a mentor with me who's continuously, he or she, they were continuously helping me path my path, whether it is technically or otherwise. So I always have those great mentors who help me along the way.
It happened because you had the zeal, right? I mean, it can't be a one-way traffic, right? I mean, you have to show that level of motivation, and then you need to have somebody who's just, like a magnet working, right? So
Right. Just happened. I found right people.
Absolutely. That's a very good takeaway, Garima. And now moving a little bit to the technical side. Can you talk a little bit about the emerging trends in chip design and verification that are actually exciting and, that's actually keeping you on your toes right now?
So I think one of the key things which is coming out is artificial intelligence and machine learning. I think there are many things which can be automated, which can be enhanced, which will overall increase the productivity and efficiency of engineering community. So I think that is one thing which we are focusing on. We are focusing in-house as well as working with multiple vendors to ensure that we get the right ingredients so that we can increase our efficiency. Second thing which is happening is we have a stack of projects, right? It's not that one after another, it's one along with another and the third one. So when you have this kind of a thing, the domain expertise building is again very important. Low power is again one of those domains which has to be focused upon, with EV cars coming in and mobile phones where battery life is one of the key critical items, and then in any other area also, right? So low power is again another area which we have to focus on. So AI, ML, low power, and then best customer experience, and I think that's where all your ISPs, camera sensors, display comes into picture, and Samsung is focusing on some of those areas also.
So Garima, let's talk about the integration of AI into the verification processes. Do you really see it as a game changer?
A very good question, and yes, absolutely. So now there are multiple facets to it. For example, if a new engineer joins in and he doesn't know how to debug, as in general, we were spending a lot of training effort on that, rather than if I can give him a trained model where the trained model can do a guided debug for him, and he can just ask question, what should I see next? Which signal should I see next? And have you seen this kind of a error in past projects? And if AI model, which is trained internally, can give those kind of an answers, it's a half job done. So I think that is where I see it as a game changer. So now again, similarly, regression compression, I think that is another area where lots of effort is going, lots of machine and license and storage disk space which is getting utilized. I think that can be easily managed and handled by AI. So anything which is repetitive, I think one thing we started with automation, which is almost like 10 years back. We keep saying reuse and automation. Now I think AI is replacing that.
Absolutely. And, when you began talking, you said about bugs, right?
Right.
So definitely I feel it's daunting, right? And I'm sure you want your team to find the most number of bugs as early as possible, right?
Absolutely. For example, cousin bug hunting, right?
Oh, yes.
Those terms actually were coined by some of us when we find a bug, and then we say, have you ensured that everything around is tested, rather than just focusing on that bug and fixing that bug? Have you made sure everything else is working? Right. And now all that is AI has to capture is that information and then replay it for us. So
I
I
agree.
think,
And with a team like you handle, which is diverse, right? I mean, so
right,
many people doing check-ins at one given point of time,
right.
like bugs will be there, right? So,
Absolutely,
but
absolutely.
exactly. So, Garima, how do you think, like I mean, especially leaders like you, can encourage more women to, pursue, STEM activities, or,
Mhm.
they can actually contribute to the semiconductor industry?
So if you go back and see the numbers, right, the way women or a girl child is doing their education, I think they're topping everywhere. So they're doing phenomenally well. But then post college, we see, and even post college, they're there. But after that, there is a leaking pipeline, which is after 5 years into the career. They have the different priorities. I think as organization, we have to create uh, multiple processes which will help them integrate back, number one. Number two, I think especially women should always have a mentor, whether it's a women mentor or a men, whoever they feel comfortable with. Because what happens is, we internally think that this problem is only faced by me and I am struggling through this problem, but maybe 100,000 of women have already been into that. So it's good to have those open conversation, open discussion, and try to find what works best for you, right? Maybe a solution which is working for a particular individual might not work for you, but then have those open conversations. This will really make you or help you understand that what you need. And uh, if you're passionate about certain things, and if you don't focus on those passions, you will internally feel very sad about it. So I think that is one of the areas. Another thing is, as Samsung, as organization, we are doing lots of CSR activities where we are giving some AI trainings to the school kids, as well as the villages the nearby villages in Bangalore. We are doing some CSR activities where we encourage them to understand what is machine learning, what is AI, and even basic VLSI, what is VLSI, and then they come up with their own models. And I think that's which is the one which triggers the passion in them, and then that's where they will feel like, okay, sciences is the one which they might want to pursue moving forward. So I think those triggers are really important in everyone's life. It's good that Samsung is putting effort in that direction.
Well, that's wonderful, I think. Yeah. I think with Cadence also, right? I mean, we are almost reaching like a 50-50, like ratio where we really have women who are being supported by their mentors, their male allies, right? And you're right. I mean, CSR initiatives actually play a very pivotal role in
Right.
bringing or educating more and more women, right?
So there is another thing which we are doing, especially in the Bangalore region. We have started a conference called Vindicon, and it got started with very few women leaders in Bangalore, and then gradually it has now become a IEEE international
Yes.
conference, and the footfall is humongous. Last year's footfall was almost like 700, and that's where
I actually witnessed it. I was there.
yeah, and it was
It was
full of
amazing.
energy.
Yes.
Vibrancy was at
Oh my
different
God.
level, and I think women do bring those different vibrancy and different thought process, different way of solving problem. They look problem and they solve it holistically. So I think as engineering committee, we should utilize that skill which women bringing in.
I
Yeah.
agree. I think we can multitask the best, There's
Yeah.
nobody who can do a better job than us.
Yeah, we can say that.
So, Garima, you mentioned about mentorship, right? Talk a little bit about how has it influenced your career?
So I love to solve problems, but then I had an attitude very early on that, oh, why I am getting into this kind of trouble. And then this guy, really great guy, he came to me and he told me, we are engineers and this is our job. Our job is to solve the problem. And I think I stick with that thing, and then every problem becomes an opportunity for me. So that was a learning for me. Then as I moved on to my life and I become mother, and I think those are crazy nights and crazy
For
times.
sure.
Now they are grown up, and I'm pretty happy that they are grown up. So I think that's also where I have some great women leaders who were my mentor, and then I could have I could discuss things with them, and then they guide me through it. Even now, I have a very good mentor. She's helping me to understand that what I need, and how should I shape my career. Because after a certain point of time, we as women ourselves have hit our ceilings, right? We hit the ceiling and we'll say, okay, maybe this is enough, or this is max. So I think that is something where mentorship really helps to achieve potential, or at least become a sounding board, right? Where you can throw your questions and then listen to yourself, and then they guide you through the process. So I think it was always a very great conversation I have with some of my mentors. The one which I spoke in the starting is still a mentor to me, so I still connect with them.
Wow, that's
so
really good. Yeah. So, do you have any piece of advice to these budding engineers, especially women, I would say? Is there a mantra, or is there something that you would, just tell them based on your experience from your, home side, your work side?
So I think one thing which is very critical is the first 5 years in the career. Make your base clear, understand the basics, create a credibility for yourself. Once you have a credibility, once you have the trust of the team and the management, they will not look at you as a man or a woman. They will look at it as you a problem solver. And I think that's what helped people, and that's what have helped me so far. So once we get into that zone, once the credibility is made, it things become little easier. Things come easier. So I think it's very important to invest your time in learning and developing yourself for first 5 years in the career, and it helps long way.
No, really. I mean, I like this thing, right? I mean, what you said. Be the asset to the company, right?
Absolutely.
Whether it's a male or a female doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
And don't stop investing in yourself, right?
Right.
Thank you so much, Garima. It's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Same here. So thanks a lot, Anika, and thanks for connecting me to your audience.
No, it's incredible. You have been an inspiration to all of us. And I'm so glad that, maximum people can actually connect and correlate with the way you've shaped your career.
Thank you. Very kind.
Thank you, listeners, for tuning in. Keep your circuits connected and your ideas flowing until we meet next on Espresso and Electronics. Stay innovative.